Nicola McCarthy, do you want to kick off with Grace there?
Sure. Hiya, Grace.
Hiya, you alright?
Good, thank you, Grace. Grace, Vera said on Sunday that she has never in her career been in a position where she has the choices that she has in the goalkeeping position. Just among yourselves, just what's the... I know the GK union's strong. Just how does it kind of play out among you girls?
To be fair, like when we go into training, like it's never... Like, we're always, like, supportive of each other. If someone makes a good save, like, we're always like, oh, well done, Court, well done, Marie. Like, we're always backing each other. And if someone's picked to start, like, we'll always be fully supportive and try and help in the best way that we can before the game if they want more kicking, like, more crossing. But no, we're fully supportive of each other. And listen, we want to qualify, and whoever's deemed the best goalkeeper and performing at the time will fully support them.
I suppose it's really a sign, Grace, of just where you are, you know, and the strength and depth of squad as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. The like obviously I've been in amongst the squad for years, and it's definitely the most competitive, I think, area that it's been in. Obviously years ago it was Emma Byrne, and it's Emma Byrne. Like there's no one obviously nearer. And now, like obviously with the last campaign, there was 3 different goalkeepers that played, and obviously with Niamh Burke, she could have played as well. So yeah, it's definitely keeping all 3 of us on our toes, and we all want to play. So I suppose that's a good thing as well, and we're all playing at the minute. So yeah.
Just finally, in your own kind of form, you're in at Reading, and you know things will be going well for you there. I mean, what can you bring then to the squad in terms of the level you're playing at yourself week in, week out?
Yeah, I just think for me at the minute, I feel like it's probably my best season to date. I think lockdown, obviously I've spoken about in the past, was massive for me in changing my mentality and how I looked at my game and understanding the type of goalkeeper I was and what I can bring to the team and just being more confident. I think obviously like as goalkeepers, when we make mistakes, it's obviously highlighted the most, if you like. But just having the confidence to, if you like, own the mistake, being like, girls, yeah, that's me, that's on me, that's my fault, and just being able to get on with it and getting it out of your system as quick as you can. Because I think it's better for a team when they're playing in front of a goalkeeper who's really confident.
So, sorry, just finally, would you say lockdown's been really helpful then in that respect? It's
yeah.
To refocus and reassess?
I think for me anyway, I think I used it in like a really positive way. Obviously the first couple of weeks it was new to you and like to me, and just how I could like go about training and what I could do within my game and could I get into better shape. So I think I used it in the best possible way that I could have, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gary Spain.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, are you right?
Just looking ahead to the World Cup draw later this month, I'm just wondering what it would mean to you to qualify and to play in a World Cup.
I think just for everyone, it'd mean everything. I obviously played in the under-17 team that went to the World Cup, and the experience from that, like we still talk about it now. Like me and the girls that are in it, it was absolutely brilliant. Like going to a country like Trinidad and Tobago. Is something probably you wouldn't usually go to, and just the group of girls we had there, we just came together so much and just wanted to win for each other. It was absolutely brilliant.
And just in that World Cup, I think you played against Brazil. We just missed out on a friendly against Brazil. Is that a big disappointment for you? Yeah,
like playing against I feel looking back on that game, we feared them. I don't think they're any better than us. But like looking at that now, if we'd have got that as a friendly, that had been a brilliant game. The players that they have, like Denise plays with Dabinha, who's like one of the best players in the world at the minute. Marta, like players like that, you always want to play against the best and see where you're at.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Chris.
Cool, thank you.
Aaron Clark.
Grace, you talked a little bit there about how lockdown and all has helped you. How has it been for you, like managing to keep your consistency going throughout the season? Because you've been constantly named in Team of the Weeks and all that in the UK. How has that been for you?
Yeah, like I think for me, with that, like obviously, if I'm being brutally honest, I think as a team, we haven't, as a team as in Reading, we haven't really been performing as well as we should be. And I think that reflects obviously on me having to do more. But obviously it's nice to be in Team of the Week, but it's not something I really focus on because I always think towards like the next game and training during the week, and I never go in if I'm in Team of the Week and expect to play the next week. I'm always going into the meeting when she announces the team and I'm like, am I going to play, am I not going to play? So that's just my mentality, is just train as hard as I can and just hope I can be available to play at the weekends.
Does that focus, as you say there, about going in every week, not knowing if you're going to play, even if you do play well, is that what sort of keeps you driving and keeps you pushing to make yourself better every week?
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like for our team this season, like we've got the likes of Farrah Williams, like Jess Fishlock, and that they come in and they demand standards, and you sort of like look at yourself then and you're like, am I doing enough? Like, what else can I do? Like, in terms of the analysis, like what you're eating, your gym program and stuff like that, just like down to the finer details of, can I do more? Am I doing enough? And stuff like that. It just keeps you really like motivated all week to make sure you're fully prepared for the games.
Just one final one from me. The Germany game, when you made your competitive debut, how overwhelming was the responses that you got?
Yeah, it was brilliant, and obviously like I've been waiting for that day for ages, I suppose, and obviously like with COVID and stuff, my family couldn't be there and everything like that, but it was brilliant, and like to this day, like it's still probably the best day of my life, if you like. But yeah, no, I really appreciated the support from everyone.
I think that's all from me. Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Emma Duffy. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, is my...
No, yeah, you're there, you're fine.
My internet's not a mare, so apologies.
No, you're alright.
Grace, just following on from Aaron's question there, and obviously you spoke about the emotion before and after the Germany game. Just how much does it mean to you to represent Ireland? I know you've talked about it before, but maybe just try and put it into words for me.
No, it's honestly, I tell you, like, the national anthem was playing and I was bawling, crying, and my mum was saying to me, like, I could see you was crying and everything like that. It means the absolute world. I say to all the girls all the time, apart from an accent, it is the absolute world to me, honestly. You're saying put it into words, but I can't. I actually can't put it into words. It just means absolutely everything to me and to my family.
Absolutely, and I'd imagine, that is serious motivation to drive on and, to really nail your spot in the team.
Oh, 100%. And like, it's hard because I want to play each week for Reading and I want to play the best that I can, but my goal is to be number one here, like it has been since I was little and Emma Byrne was here, and I wanted to be in every camp with her. And listen, I wanted to take her spot, whether that was a dream that was way too big for me. But that was growing up. That was it. I remember going to my first camp. I think I was under 17s, and we were heading to the World Cup. And at the airport, she gave me a pair of her goalie gloves. And honestly, like I would just remember getting in the car when my dad picked me up from the airport. I was like, "Oh my God, Dad, you'll never believe what Emma Byrne's just given me." And it was like the best thing in the world. And they're probably a pair of gloves that she's had for about 5 years. But for me, that was just the best thing ever.
That's brilliant. And then last one for me, Grace, I suppose, you look at that story and that's an example of a role model, and now you're that to someone else. How does that kind of sit with you guys?
It's weird. It is weird because you don't know, like, so much of it's on like social media and stuff now, so you have to be careful what you're saying and what you're doing and what you're posting. And like, I'm just someone that I'll just take the mick out of myself on social media and stuff like that. But sometimes I have to be careful and go, is this a little bit too far or something like that? So yeah, I suppose like back then, like Emma and that didn't probably have to worry about that as much, but that's more like in your back of your mind now, I suppose, coming out and saying the right thing and doing the right thing and be seen to be the professional that you are, I suppose.
Absolutely. Brilliant, Grace. Thanks a million.
Thank you. Cheers.
James McMahon.
How are you, Grace? There was a journalist in Reading, one of the newspapers in Reading, Grace, described a recent performance of yours that you pulled Reading through many dangers, toils and snares. So you spoke earlier about lockdown and your time during lockdown, but do you think your form has gone up a level since lockdown?
Yeah, I'd say so. But I also think because we haven't been playing this well this season, I've probably had to step up a little bit more and perform for the team. I've changed a lot of things. I think within my game, I worked a lot in lockdown with two of our coaches. I was really lucky in terms of one really helped me with the mental side of my game, and one more having the ball at my feet and working with the team in possession and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I'd say I had to step it up. We had the New Zealand #1 come in, and for me, my mentality was you're not taking my spot. I was probably number 3 here at the time, and a New Zealand #1 coming in. Probably everyone from the outside looked at it and was like, well, Grace isn't going to play. But my mentality was that she's not going to come in and take my spot. And I suppose I've just worked hard and tried to keep her out.
Yeah. Also as well, Grace, the fact in terms of coverage of the game, obviously I see next season there'll be plenty of games live on the BBC. So it's a chance for people in Britain and here as well to watch the league. And also the fact here in Ireland, the fact that RTE will be covering their friendlies on Thursday and Sunday coming up, and also covering the qualifiers, hopefully. The game is just getting more and more exposure the whole time.
Yeah, it's getting massive. We were just speaking about it there yesterday. I think all the women's leagues here in England, in Scotland, all over are getting bigger and getting more coverage and stuff like that. So I think the quality of players that leagues are going to attract now is just going to be massive, and it's only just going to help with us going forward and progressing.
Okay. Thanks, Grace, and the best of luck over the next 2 games.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ashton Kirby.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, you're right.
You were talking about your mentality in lockdown, and I'm sorry to mention it, but you obviously had a heavy defeat on Saturday.
Yeah.
It's not the perfect preparation, but how important is it that you're strong mentally in bouncing back for ahead of Denmark?
Yeah, no, of course. To be honest with you, I think probably Saturday was probably my worst game of the season. But I feel like my way of dealing with it in the past games in the season is if I've felt like maybe a goal's been my fault or I haven't been good enough, I'll write in the group chat and I'll be like, girls, listen, hands up, that was me. Or I'll come in the next day and I'll do a session and I'll work on the same scenario that happened in the game of what maybe my body weight wasn't forward, or maybe I went down too early, or maybe I didn't move my feet. But for me, it's admitting that it was my fault and just putting it to the side. Yeah, hands up, get rid of it, and we move on and look forward.
You're now pushing for the #1 spot in Ireland. How important has Reading manager Kelly Chambers been in getting you to this position, and do you think she gets the recognition she deserves?
No, not at all. Not at all. I've had Kelly as my manager since I was 10, and the way that she's progressed the club through the years has been absolutely brilliant. I don't think she gets the credit she deserves at all. But for me personally, obviously I've been there so long, and she's always looked after me. When I've been naughty at times at school or anything like that, she's always been there and bailed me out and stuff like that. But she's always had my back and always fully supported me in anything really, family stuff or football. She's been absolutely brilliant for me.
Thank you, Grace. Have a good week.
Thank you.
We'll switch to Owen Cowser. Oh, there now.
No.
Dave Kelly.
Hi, Grace. Yeah, I'll just ask one. Just you were talking about the dream earlier, but let's pin it down to harsh reality. 2 games this week. It looks like Vera's going to play everybody, and And like the goalkeeping situation is very fluid at the moment, but I'm sure a manager likes to have certainty in that position, to have a number one she can rely on and not be switching. So in terms of yourself, what do you think you need to do over this window to stake your claim for that number one position?
Over these 2 games? Yeah. Obviously, when I get my chance, if I get my chance to play, just be confident, be reassuring for the players in front of me. And obviously, like, I can only do the best that I can do. Mistakes happen, but I can only do what I can do. But yeah, like I said, be confident. Help us keep the ball, positive information. Just, I think, like, for me, obviously, like I said, I think it's been my best club season to date. So just trying to take my performances, maybe not Saturday, but before that, into the game if I play.
And just a supplementary briefly, in terms of the game Vera wants to play, how confident are you in terms of possession football, being a possession football playing goalkeeper? Basically, how confident are you in your footballing ability, regardless of, making saves, which we all want goalkeepers to do, but in terms of being a contributor to the footballing system?
As in with having the ball at my feet? Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm really confident. I think that's probably one of my biggest strengths with my game, is having the ball at my feet and my distribution. So going forward, yeah, I think that's probably one of my best strengths, like I said. And I think I can help the team with that anyway.
Okay, cheers, thanks.
John Fallon.
Hi, Grace.
Hi, are you alright?
Good, and you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Just interesting what you mentioned there about your mentality, about the competition that you got already from the New Zealand keeper.
Yeah.
Would you be of similar mindset in terms of your position with Ireland? Would you see it as being you in possession of the jersey and it's up to someone else to dispossess you?
No, not at all. Not one bit. I obviously with the last campaign, 3 of us played. I was dropped from one camp, and then Marie obviously was dropped from another camp. So anything can happen at any point. So I think it's just coming in with the mentality of none of us know who's going to play, and just literally giving it Wellingtons during the week in training and try and perform like the best that we can.
And I know you mentioned earlier about going to the Under-17 World Cup. A lot of those players are still with you, like Denise, and obviously Megan is still injured. But at the age profile you are now, do you see that this is your opportunity? Like, World Cups only happen every 4 years. These are probably, a lot of these are in your peak of your career, that this is the real chance to go and make it a senior level. Yeah,
100%. And I think the group of players that we've got now is probably the strongest group that especially, well, me personally, that I've been in a going into a campaign. I think there's real quality within the group, and I genuinely believe that we can get there this year, regardless of who's in our group. I think this group's really together and we'll push each other over the line.
And finally, you've spoken there about the strides made at club level, particularly in England. And in that context, how disappointed are you to see what happened at Birmingham in the last few days?
Yeah, especially when there's obviously the whole TV deal and the media coverage that's coming in. I just thought that the game was moving forward and stuff like that. And speaking to obviously some of the girls here that know people at Birmingham or play for Birmingham, the way that they get treated is obviously is not good enough for any professional environment. But hopefully with it being highlighted now, they can address it and take the appropriate action to make sure that it is fixed.
And just from a personal perspective, have you noticed that the welfare has improved, that maybe, you've been at the club a long time, but you don't have any of those issues in the modern day professional setup? The way that we've been treated at Reading is first class. Like, we get our own training ground. We've got about 6 changing rooms that we can choose from. There's lunch, there's our own gym. Like, what we get is absolutely brilliant.
Can't fault it at all.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Grace.